moving into our first Edge of Eternities draft. Let's hope we open up well. Interesting. Do we want to try and mill our opponents out as a first pick? Probably not. I do like the Juice and Adepts. None of the other commons are particularly interesting to me. Uncommon wise, I like Cameron Turbo Drone, but I'm not going to first pick it over the Juice and Adepts. Yeah, fairly easy pick in this pack, I think. Followed up, we get, so the rare's missing or mythic is missing. In terms of uncommons in this one, I like Starfield Shepherd. It's a 3/2 flyer, it's just better than the Moogle. Grabs us a planes, helps us fix. We get invasive maneuvers, which is also pretty good. I like the whale at the commons, I like diplomatic relations. Generally, I've been underwhelmed from what I've seen of blue in this set so far, so I'm not too keen to jump in and take either of these uncommons. I can make the argument for invasive maneuvers, but given that my first pick was white, I'm going to stick with that. So it's just not to send mixed signals to my left. We're seeing lots of blue uncommons coming round. I wonder if that's a sign. Hymn of the Faller is okay, but I feel like it's more of a 23rd card than one of your early picks. Similar with System's Override, I think it's just another threat in effect. So in this pack, I'm drawn towards Depressurize and Hull Carver, and probably the Depressurize over the Hull Carver at this point. Yeah, I think we're going to take Depressurize here. Okay, Scouts are for survivors. I don't think this is particularly strong in limited formats. Another Hymn of the Faller. This pack is a bit tighter. I don't mind Dockworker Drone, it's a fine 2-drop, gets us some counters on guys. I probably prefer that over the Embrace Oblivion at this stage. I may look to pick one of these up later on if I go into a more kind of voidy build, but at present we're just going to take the drone. Hardlight Containment seems difficult to activate here. Can't guarantee we're going to have an artifact. Often when we do, it'll be a creature, which is easy to remove. This is a really strong blue uncommon, but like I said, we're likely going to avoid that for the time being. This is a late Broodguard Elite. This seems really late to me. This card's been very powerful when I played Sealed. I think we're going to take this. The Weftblade Enhancer would be my pick if the Broodguard Elite was something else bad, but we're going to take it and see what develops. More blue uncommons. That should tell you something, that the blue uncommons are still circling the table at this point. If they were good, they wouldn't be doing that. I don't mind the Scrapbot as a 3-drop. Makes a lander token, helps you with your fixing. I don't think I prefer it over the Fate Maker though, which puts a counter on a thing and gives things with counters trample. I could also justify taking another Dockworker Drone, but I just don't think it's as good as the is. Okay, we're seeing some black here. When it enters, put 2 counters on a thing, put target exile card with warp on the bottom of the source library. Very niche. Lightless Evangel is only really going to be relevant in a void deck, and it's difficult to trigger consistently. I think here I'm actually going to take the Pinnacle Kill Ship. From what I've seen, the format seems to be relatively slow, and just having a big stupid creature that does 10 damage is relevant. Talking about big stupid creatures that just deal damage, we've got a Bygone Colossus. It's a 9 mana 9/9 with Warp 3. I'm more interested in the Galactic Wayfarer at this stage. But I'm not opposed to, if I get another couple of starships, I'm not opposed to picking one of them up later on. Tenderfoot is also a perfectly viable card for us to pick up. Return up to 2 target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand, then return up to 2 target land cards to the battlefield tapped. I mean, this feels like sideboard material. Here I guess we take the Thawbringer. Here I'm going to take the uncommon for vault purposes. We can maybe justify one of these in the main deck. And the Westblade Wheels, it's good. Okay. Rewarded for pivoting into green with the Might Form Harmonizer. Whenever a land comes in, you get to double the power of target creature until end of turn. It's 100% slam first pick for me here. We do have to, assuming we're not going into black though, we do have to think about removal options. So we should be keeping our eyes open for them in future packs, but right now, easy first pick. When I said removal, I was meaning something a bit spicier than Focus Fire. How are we doing for creatures at the moment? Pretty good, to be honest. Most things are creatures. We don't have many early drops though. I'm kind of between the Predator here, the Worm, and the Breacher. The Breacher makes counters. I don't really have a way to maximise on that at the moment. I think I'm just going to take the Predator. Flying is definitely a problem, at least from what I've seen, so having a way to interact with that on turn 4 is decent. So here we got another Starfield Shepherd. The Thawbringer's only okay. I don't think I'm going to be doing much of 2 spells in a turn. And the Breacher is Might Wheel, it's only a common. I'm more interested in picking up the Shepherd here. We're really not seeing many removal options in our colours at all, but we are getting some very good uncommons. This seems reasonable. Double strike out of nowhere if it's got a counter replacing itself. Ugh. I don't think this is a limited card at all. And I think this synergizes quite well. We've got quite a few ways to put counters on things at the moment. So yeah, we're going to pick up the Might here. Squadron Ace is another solid uncommon. Just for a 2-mana 2/3. I am short 2 drops at the moment, so I'm kind of leaning in towards that. I could also take another Predator, but my top end looks decent, so I think I'm just going to take this. Starport Security or an Thawbringer. I could also consider the Sweeper. It's only fine though. The Broodguard Elite is the obvious one. We definitely have quite a strong counter synergy going here. We take a Same Rip, give us some sort of removal. That definitely has to be the priority going into pack 3. I think when we take this, our top end is now cemented. It's a fine 4-drop. 2, but Sky Stinger, drop. I mean, I'm quite pleased with how this is went so far. I just need some form of removal. Okay, we're almost certainly not playing 3. Again, when I said removal, I meant something better than Shattered Wings. I think this is probably fine in sealed, but not so much in draft. I think. Maybe I'll be wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm just taking the 4-drop here. I don't know that I can pass this. This is just a bit bottomy. There's also not removal to pick over it, although you could argue that Balloon Stinger's removal is definitely not better than Cosmogrand. Reroute Systems is some small removal. Flight Deck Coordinator we're not interested in. The Melt Strider is... We're going to have a lot of guys that put counters on things, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This seems pretty solid. So this one makes a lander token, which goes well with our harmonizer. The alternative would be to pick the dock worker drone, but I think we've got enough. We want quality drops now, rather than just picking something that puts a counter on things. So the Rayblood Trooper puts a counter on things, and whenever a creature you control with a counter on it dies, you create a 1/1. We've got another Broodguard Elite, which we could take. But honestly, we are so short in removal, I just have to take the Vanishing Light here. It's not even close. And it's probably going to be the same again. Okay, we're starting to look a bit healthier for removal. We definitely don't need the 6-drop. The 4-drop doesn't really assist us, I don't think. I guess we do have 2 of these, but that's also a 4-drop. I think Reroute Systems, I'm going to pick here, it kills a small thing and protects a big thing. It's also cheap, so it lets us trigger the Cosmogrand, sorry. And we may actually play the wall. Take a Curiosity. Here I do think I take the Stinger. You take the uncommon for vault purposes. I feel like I've got enough flying. Okay. This seems functional. It's interesting that so much of the white uncommons were available and so much of the good white removal wasn't. So 12 cuts. So we've got a total of 27 creatures. I think we can afford to cut 11. So actually he enters with a definite 1/1 counter on him as a 2/3. These come in and retain their 1/1 counters. Let's see what we definitely want to get rid of first and then take it from there. I don't need to play the Drix. I probably don't want to play 3 of you. Fine. I mean, this is really a 4-drop. Let's average it out and put it in the 5 spot. I don't think we need the Sammy's Curiosity. We probably still need to keep the Cowship, and this works for 3. And my top end actually works in quite cheap, so I'm happy to keep most of that. Like, we potentially trigger the Cosmogrand so often here because we get so many warp creatures. I don't think the Sky Stinger is relevant. Like, this flies, these fly, these will reach. Hemosymbic Might is potentially just too slow. Five cuts, we've dropped it down to 22 creatures. It probably is still in creatures here. Could you take T? Thank you. My assistant, who helps me out with the pack openings, is also helping me out with the keyboard because it's so challenging. I can't remember the last time I drafted so few spells. I'm usually totally biased in the other direction. These probably come in somewhere between 3 and 4. I think we're going to drop this in favour of the drone. Okay, this is definitely in, This is good because it makes you a lander token. I don't know how relevant that is going to be. Like, even just getting 1 trigger off of this guy a turn is relevant. The Eulogist with all the things like counters, we get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ways to make counters. This seems absolutely incredible. Maybe the worm is unnecessary. Maybe 2 of these is unnecessary. Like, the worm's arguably easier to cast than this is. 2 cuts. This definitely has to stay in. Like, our removal really isn't great. I do think this has a potential to be really strong given how many things deal with counters. So it really is down to cutting 2 creatures here. So what's the worst creature we have at the moment? Probably the worm, right? I can't really cut the 2 drops, I need 2 drops. 3 drops are great. Is it maybe one of these 2? Like, it's a dead drop if you've got an empty board, right? You get 4 mana for a 2/2. Maybe it's one of these. And the worm. And that puts us on 17. Yeah, 17 creatures, 5 spells. 5 spells in my deck can kill things. I think this looks solid. Yeah, okay. let's go with this and see how we get on. Diving in for the first game. Fingers crossed it goes well. I've watched a fair amount of the drafts in the format. I've yet to dip my toes in. I'm going to wait until the quick draft launches next week before spending all my gems. Okay, this seems unkeepable. 5 lands and 2 things that put counters on things. This is better, but we're dead to a white source. There's 8 in the deck. We need 1 by turn 3. I may live to regret this. And at least choosing one to go back was easy. We've also got a mighty 2/2 with Death Touch to protect us for as long as we need. There's the white source. My opponent hit him up rather aggressively as well, so we are definitely going to get into aggro mode here. I led with this because I can give a Death Touch next turn, and if it dies I can put the counter on the Stinger. I think here we just play out the Adept, so that if it dies, the Adept gets the counter. Get locked into a counter spell. We get 2 damage to the face. Which is a white deck commander. So we've now got a 2/2 with Death Touch. When it dies, counter goes in a Doot. I think we just we play out the Breacher attack with everything. No. Maybe this is just the Banishing Light. I need to be selective with the removal, but my opponent is definitely on the back foot in terms of... No, I think we're going to play out the Breacher and attack with a 2/2 Death Touch. Focus back. Maybe this is where all the white removal went. We'd like to draw something other than lands. My opponent would undoubtedly like to draw lands. There's one. Wedge Knight Rammer gets himself a 2/2, which he uses to immediately crew both of them. So this can be crewed next turn, but it takes the turn off to do it, so I'm going to hard cast this. We'll get planes. Attack for 6. I suspect it probably does activate the Rammer this turn, and then we can Banishing Light it, get in for 9. Give him a 3/4 first striker. He does not. I guess then we can Banishing Light a 3/3. Attack with everything. Get 7 and trade with a 2/2, put a counter on Shepherd. He then has no creatures on board to crew that thing next turn. If he does play a creature, he probably has to tap it to crew it. And so he takes 7 this turn. We attack for 4 regardless next turn. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. Striking at night. Decided to draw a card. So I'm going to walk this in. Put a counter on the flyer, because that's definitely a threat to them just now. We're close, guys. We're close. I guess we've got to go for lethal, right? No blocks. This has to be 2 very good cards in my opponent's hand. What a dream top deck. He casually follows up with a 6/6 black. No attacks. Do you have a creature? Like, some of this must be land, surely. Okay. So what is this word? What? 2, 6, 7, 8. 9 mana. 9 mana available. He's just got all the counter spells. But this is still lethal, right? Like, it doesn't have lifelink. Our opponent has top decked pretty well here. I actually feel like I've been robbed. So X is 8. Okay, GG. I guess we queue up the next one. Okay, let me try again. I'll take the play. Nice anti no 2-drop, but we're on the play, so that's not too bad. We can get 3-drop in when our opponent plays a 2-drop. We'll lead with planes. Nutrient block is not a concern. Let's get planes out of the way. I'm still reeling from the last game. Okay, this is a good thing to eat with. So, play this for 2. Technically, end of the turn it becomes a 5/5. Draws a card and it dies. Not too bad. Guess we'll work this game. Try to at least. Opponent has 4 mana. Double his power. Attack for 10. Opponent takes it like a champ. And now he's going to consult the chart, the stars. That seems risky. Yeah, I mean, we hard cast this guy this turn. And he's in bad shape next turn. But I said that about the last opponent as well, and he didn't have any cards in his hand. Nobody has trample, unfortunately. I guess we put them here because I'm not attacking with a harmonizer. There's a double block. Take a draw off of it. I kinda just want to swarm the board with minions now. Let's get a wee flying minion in now. Grab ourselves a land to trigger the harmonizer next time. At least these small level struggles with these big things. He's got a Radiant Strike. I guess we just want him to use it. He's got it, right? Like what we're going to do and not attack. X is 2 plus the number of creatures. Double focus by. Okay, seems bad. You don't. So if I do, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. If I do X is 2. Unravel. Another unravel. He's not done any damage to me yet. Okay, here we go. The deciding round. I genuinely think my deck is better. But our opponent has a ton of removal and this is not going to work. This is better but slow. He's also had to go to 6, though I think I'm going to keep this. My opponent's deck does not appear to be particularly fast. I'm putting the forest back. So that's a 1-1. Which is better than we can do. I am not close to being able to trigger the Cosmo Brand, so let's not play it. There's the first unravel. Pings will want to get in. The army's coming back. I think we're just going to play it to get a double strike if we can. It does have 2 focus fires that I've seen. So definitely going to banish and light her. Because I don't know what else he has that makes. I don't know what else he has that makes tokens, so let's not risk it. Now we could be walking into another unravel here. I've only seen 2 and he's played 1. Oh, I'm just being informed by my assistant that he actually has 3. I want to get the tokens in so that I can play the Lux Knighter and have it be a big card next turn. Unbelievable! I'm going to hold the planes in case I draw the Harmonizer. What is this deck? So we now have 3 turns left to win. Okay. Well, that was disappointing. I feel like I had the better deck. But it is what it is. I guess we go on to the next one. Back into the breach. We'll take the play and we'll keep this. Seems perfectly serviceable. Sunstar until it's +1 for land drop. Landfall. So what's this guy? He's the one you can sacrifice to go and get treasure. Oh, that's definitely going to cancel this turn. The counter on him. Attack for 4. I probably, at this stage, I would replay the Fate Maker next turn and put the counter on myself. Although I guess if I put the counter back on the expansionist, you can attack and survive. I think that's better, to be honest. Yeah, that's quite a bit of damage for free. Blocks. I like having trample. Opponent is in black though, so he does have access to premium removal. So I'll look at that. So I can play the Bloom Stinger and play this X as 2, or I can play the Bloom Stinger and +1 counter on 2 creatures. That seems more reasonable. Although this gives me a big guy to trample through with. Right, I would play this. He gets 2 counters on him, becomes a 5/4, he's a 6/5 next turn. Yeah, I think I'm going with that. And then this guy gets walked in, fixes 2. It's walked out. Try and split the stats, but we can, so 5/4. Combat again. Okay, interesting. He must have some trick. Seems very aggressive. My life is so low. That's a 3/2. So he can kill something and give me 2 cards. That seems like a good trade for me. We can play the flyer. He's kind of running out of removal here. Or I can play the Eulogist and warp in this guy, so that would give me a 4/4 with 3/3, both of them with counters on them, so I draw cards when they die. That seems more reasonable. This guy's deck is already much better than the last guy's, and he still destroyed me, so... This shouldn't be a hard decision. Our opponent is tapped out. He can sacrifice at will, which is welcome to do so. He can surveil as much as he likes. Do I just force a trade here? It's going to be one of these that I'd be blocking with next turn anyway. If he's got removal, though, I drop two. No, we don't think we can afford to attack. He can also play the west point next turn, which it does. Counters on the two black creatures, I'd imagine. Strangely, it would make some 3/3. Okay, I think I Starfield Shepherd for the warp cost. That leaves me 5 mana. I can then Locksnight Breacher and I'll have 4 creatures on board. It comes in as a 6/6. That seems reasonable. And then next turn we play the Starfield Shepherd. And start to put my clock in the air. No attack still. Which is warped. Mine is going to be bigger than yours is. Size does matter. Starfield Shepherd. Guard Elite for 2. was no on turn 1 white kill spell there, which I think is instant speed. So that's one thing he's not holding up. It could be the Squire's Blade gives, I think, first strike. It could also be reroute systems and destructible and gives target attack and keeps on 2 damage. I can't think of anything else that costs 1 that would be holding up. Well, that was interesting there. There's a banishing light, so do we have lethal here? The weft blade puts a counter on the flag, it goes up to 6. Banishing light, no we don't. So we just won. I think we do eat the Squire list on 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 mana. This comes in for 7. This comes in for 5. Take the flyer out of the sky. Put him in a 2-turn clock. What is the white card called that gives everyone +2? Balance things. Zealous display. That would be pretty brutal if my opponent played that next up. Okay, he's decided to let it resolve. We should sack this to surveil. At least he's paying attention. We go to combat. I don't think there's. I can play the Westblade Enhancer, but I don't think there's any sense doing it this turn, this before combat, because it doesn't change the clock on my opponent. And I'm probably going to put the counters elsewhere so as I've got better blocks. Because right now I only really have to be able to block these 3, and then I take 6 damage potentially if he were to Alpha Strike. It must have removal up, surely. It's frustrating not because this means that he always gets to check priority, because there's something he can do at instant speed, so this could be 2 swamps, and we'd never know with all these Hollywood in here. Making it dramatic. Like, surely the decision's easy at this point. If you have a way to kill the flying thing that's going to kill you, you kill the flying thing, and you could have done it 3 minutes ago. Okay, we took that. That's probably this. And I think one kernel goes here, and one kernel goes on itself. We can now favourably block everything the attacks with, except Hull Carver, because we can favourably block Hull Carver. So it can't be removal here, right? Otherwise it would categorically have done it then. Yeah, it's Zealous Display, it has to be right. But we were going to block as though he doesn't have it. Right, so Zealous Destroyer. That doesn't kill me. It kills all my creatures, but we also kill all his creatures for the most part. And I draw 4 cards, which is nice. Oh, if you board right in it, I broke the keyboard down. Do we just Alpha Strike now? I can't think of any way. Not if I only attack with this and he kills it, though he buys himself another turn to start reanimating things. So I have to attack with at least 2 creatures, right? So it's that if he kills one, he's obliged to block with the other. I was actually arguing with myself there to attack with 3 creatures. Okay, I don't think we necessarily change anything against this opponent. He does have good removal, this guy, but maybe? Bring back creatures from the graveyard. Like, that's okay. I don't know what I would take out for it though. How many 2-drops did he have on the field there? 3-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 2-drop, 5-drop, 3-drop. He doesn't have many 2-cost creatures. But the problem is that the ones that he does have are annoying, right? Like, being able to Seam Reap a Hull Carver is quite good. Also being able to Seam Reap this guy is quite good. I think Seam Rip has to stay in. Reroute systems. Is that 2 damage relevant? Kind of, right? Yeah. Okay, maybe it stays out for now. And if for whatever reason going in, I lose this and going into game 3, I could be like, oh, I should have put that card in. And it'll be more thorough in future. Okay, this will be a mulligan. Oh my god. This will be a mulligan as well. My deck hates me. At least the Shepherd gets me another planes out there. That's okay, it's getting serviceable. We've got some creatures we can play, we've got a piece of removal. 25% of the removal of the deck we just drew. I'd really like another creature off the top. That wasn't it. So potentially next turn I'm playing this for 4 and then this for 5 on turn 5. So there's no opportunity to play the 3-drop. It just feels bad to use it on this, but it's what it is. Trying to be efficient with the mana. Death touch. I guess now we can play this. And then I play the Starfield Shepherd next turn and keep the 3/3 as a blocker. Because the counters go on the Shepherd, ideally. Okay, so we have 3/3/2. And we make no tax. Six mana. Potentially all the good stuff. think we do is make this trade here. This seems really bad to remember. But to give your opponent 2 cards, I'm really grateful he gave me those cards though. Thank God we got them not really. So I guess this switch was coming in for X is 4. This only has death touch if you controls an artifact. There's an artifact. That banishing light is starting to look quite nice now. It's a shame it's like dip coordinate under lock and key. This hasn't been proved at all yet. I guess I'm just doing this. And I'm quite confident I can crew it next time. 6, 7, 8. It needs 7 to crew, yeah. So we're going to crew 3, let's just crew it up. I guess he can activate the next turn, right? The difference is mine will be at 14-14. I can give it double strike, which is rather funny. Okay. Thank God! We won a game! We won! Okay. The last game of this run. Hopefully we can get ourselves 1,000 gems rather than 250, because one of those prizes sucks. This is keepable. It seems greedy to throw it back. So press keep. Yep, good. Against the blue deck. It should make me feel good, but it doesn't. Why is that? Okay, mono. What's your second colour? Or was your mana script? Thrown away a cryogen relic? That seems strange. I guess we go the double striker first because the Metal Strider doesn't do anything. Unravel? Have you got an unravel? Yes. I do think he's stuck on his first colour. There it is. Death Strike turn, his turn. Depressurize, cryo shifter. I mean, he still has his ability, right? So we should still I think this is going to be we're going to get this guy double strike, make some 1/1s. I could put a counter on things and start drawing cards when the guys die. No, that's the one. Because the red blade enhancers got ways to put counters on things next turn. If you found other removal in place of Oblivion. Like, sure. I guess he doesn't have the flyer anymore though, right? Let's attack with the 2 2s. Because we need to start pulling some life back. Evening the life totals here. Hardcaster, that's great. Put one counter here, one counter here. This is 8 to 3. It's been warped, okay. Does he use it to activate the ship? It's not 3 damage B2. So if we take, I mean we're definitely taking the ship, because it makes us discard, and whenever we discard we lose 3 life. So that's happening. And I think we're attacking for, so I attack for 10 and force him to block, right? I think that's safe. I'll do this. Even if he's got a, if he attacks with the anti-cosmo next one, I have to block. In case there's some trick. Well, that person's late to the end of the turn. Warp this in. Gives us 5 mana. Or hard cast it. Double this strength. Doesn't do it. Yeah, but his health just goes up to 10 at the end of his turn. If I double this and attack, then he has to block to stay alive, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. So he has to block this. So this is hard cast. Attack, he can't take the damage either, has to stand in front of the blooming stinger trait here. So we're not attacking this turn because I definitely can't do damage to him. Yeah, I can play this out and put counters on things. I can warp this. And its counters goes, I think it doesn't make any difference, it's just goes with each one. No attacks. I mean, do I want to put just more counters on things? Is one counter going to make a difference? Because presumably he's going to, again, I'm going to make him have to block this next turn. Which gets him, so this would block this blocks this again for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I do this just now, no, it's not worth it. I presume my opponent has some trick in hand, because that seemed incredibly risky. We just have no way to block the fly, that's the problem. So if I were to double this, this gets blocked and this gets blocked, and we still have 7 damage in. Double this, it works into a real good 6, so the maximum I can do is 7. We do get to draw some cards though. No, we don't, we kill everything. Okay, next game. Okay. Maybe we do bring in a predator here. Over this, maybe. I mean, how relevant the seam rip it hits? 1, 2, 3. It's only really good 3 targets so far. Okay, we're going to lose a seam rip. And we can also put this guy in for reach. He doesn't kill it though, that's the problem, so we just do this. I will take the play. This is fine-ish. It's fine-ish. Okay, that's good. Abyss Oblivion, then I guess he wants it to be able to sacrifice it to embrace. In which case he's now got a choice between killing the 4/4 Stinger or the 2/2 with double strike. You should probably do 2/2 with double strike. He's going for it. A land off the top would be beautiful for me. So this gets warped. Oh my god, why would you tap like that? You want to keep reroute systems up to get the double strike or protection from dying. It gives them protection from dying. Gets a card draw off the relic, can sack it to draw another card. So the 5/5 is now getting stunned, right? Does that mean Edge of Eternities has been held up to kill? It's not instant speed though. There's a thing at the top that was quite beautiful. I don't really rate this card very much. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 unless you discard an artifact. Use only the death touch jump your turn. So he's hard cast the vestige. No, he warped it, okay. Five's the victory. Cryo Shafter is a bit of a pain. We can still activate the ability on it though and give our guys +1/+1. He just takes 4. You could make the argument not to play that until next turn and then have lethal in it here, but I would rather have the reroute systems protection spell up. I think that's reasonable. My partner did a kind of like, no, I'll tell you when the camera's off how bad you are at this game. You control it. This doesn't give hexproof, it only makes it indestructible. Sure, you control the 4/4 guy. Maybe attack with both. Let's see what tricks we're running into here. He has to block. This guy comes in and is just presents another threat. I'm traumatized about board wipes now, so I know I could have skipped a couple of items on things, but stressful. Once more into the breach. We've got this. We've got this. Okay, we're starting strong with a mulligan. This is a keep. And I guess we put back. I guess we put back the west blade. It's like infinite things of 2 damage. Just this one. And then next time we get counters, and then turn for that flyer. So the damage in first. Do we actually bring it in just to a 2/2? That's then putting some pressure on the board. I mean, he must have a spell in his hand, right? Because he didn't play this last time. So, I guess we try and bring it in as a 2/2. What happens if we counter it? It would just go straight to the graveyard rather than going to wall. Okay, I don't think it matters. Don't think it matters, so I'd rather have the option. Ah, I forgot you draw. I guess if it's blocked though, I should just defeat the full cost problem. That gets to put a 4/4 into play. Tractor beam. I can take this back if I wanted with the Unleashing Light, but it doesn't do anything for me just now. It also doesn't do anything for me, so I would rather just develop my board. Sure, we can take this. None of it's poison damage. this guy now will cost us 4. That gives us a slightly blocker. We get the pinnacle kill shot next turn. Can double vanishing light. I probably have to kill the silencer. Alternatively, I could just stack a load of counters on this and vanishing light or blocker next turn. You could then make that. No, I think we do that. Do I just take this turn and get 3 counters on it, puts them to 6? Because we just leave ourselves really open to them having a removal spell to kill this. Which in fairness we've not seen. We don't really saw a removal spell. Is he want to just get an because of vestige out? That works too. Attacking with a 2-7. Blocks now. 5, 6, 7. Definitely vanishing this guy. Yes. Attack you for 6. Okay guys, 2 out of 3 overall, and the first one could have, maybe should have went our way as well. Because these best of 3 drafts, you really got to fight for them. I'll maybe jump into the best of 1 queue and see if it's a bit less stressful over there. Thanks for tuning in.